It was the day after the funeral, and although things were hard in the village hidden in the leaves, everyone was starting to settle down and get back to work repairing what was destroyed in the attack. By this time, word had gotten around about the battle between Team 7 and the Ichibi of the Sand. Most of the villagers acknowledged Sasuke as the sole reason for the defeat, however even he knew that if it hadn't been for Naruto, the demon would have won. There were a handful of villagers that acknowledged that the reports were accurate and that Naruto had played a vital role in the defeat of the Ichibi, particularly the group of villagers that he had saved during the invasion and the same ones who were starting to have a change of heart about Konoha's demon brat. The battle was still echoing in Sasuke's head. Naruto had managed to show off some amazing abilities there, including the summoning jutsu and that blue sphere that Naruto had shoved up Gaara's ass. Sasuke knew Naruto had access to the Kyuubi's power, but the power Naruto demonstrated wasn't all Kyuubi. Making himself a Jinchuriki was completely out of the question, after seeing what Gaara had become, but he had to find some way to increase his own power if he ever hoped to avenge his clan and kill his brother. A summoning contract was on his list of things to get, and he already had an idea on how to get his hands on one, and that one jutsu of Naruto's had to be at least on par with his own Chidori. Naruto had found a jutsu that had surpassed him, and now it was Sasuke's turn to come up with something to surpass Naruto. Of course Sasuke knew Naruto, being on his team and after all the small competitions they normally had when it came to training. When he surpassed Naruto, Naruto would find a way to surpass him and the cycle would just keep repeating, neither one of them willing to let the other one get ahead of the other. He realized that this was where he would get his strength from, the rivalry between the two of them. It was getting late in the afternoon and Kakashi had called a team meeting, not at the usual training ground, but in a private meeting hall in the Hokage's tower. There was something that needed to be discussed, and it needed to be discussed now. Team 7 arrived at the meeting with Kakashi already present. The fact that he was even early for this meant that this talk was going to be important, and the team already had the idea that it revolved around a certain blonde-haired teammate of theirs. "Kakashi, you're early?" asked Sakura, coming into the room. Sakura had just been released from the hospital after they reset the broken ribs she had from Gaara's sand. Thankfully, those were the worst of her injuries and she was just bandaged and told to rest for a week to recover. "Yes, well, I've been meaning to talk to you about the events in this past exam," said Kakashi. "First, I must say that I am actually impressed by your performance in the exams. To be honest, I didn't fully expect the four of you to grow so much." "Wait? Does that mean you didn't expect us to pass?" asked Sakura. This realization irritated both Naruto and Sasuke. "To be honest, I nominated the four of you to give you the experience of these exams. It is rare that someone passes on their first time around. However, I knew you were ready, which is why I nominated you," explained Kakashi. "However, there was one person out of you that particularly caught my attention, Naruto. I'm going to leave the five of you alone." "Have fun, Kit," laughed Kurama as he retreated back into the darkness of his cage. "Hey! Get back here. You're as much a part of this as I am," shouted Naruto, but he got no response. Naruto smiled and put his hand behind his head as the group's attention turned towards him. They knew this talk was coming. "When did you figure out?" asked Kakashi, referring to the Kyuubi. "Well, you see, it happened back in the Land of Waves," said Naruto, explaining the story of how he and the Kyuubi met. "Wait, does that mean you know as well?" "Well, I am your mentor, plus I've known longer than you have," replied Kakashi. "I suspected you realized it back in the Land of Waves when I felt that sudden burst of chakra. If it wasn't for the fact that everyone on Team 7 knew exactly what they were talking about, this would have quickly become a rather awkward conversation." Kakashi turned to the rest of the team. "Based on your reactions, I suspect the three of you know as well. When did you find out?" "Back in the Forest of Death, after Naruto tapped into the Kyuubi's power against that Orochimaru guy," replied Sakura. "After we were able to escape from Orochimaru and Gaara, we had already seen the chakra cloak that Naruto got and he decided to tell us." "Chakra cloak? Naruto, how much power has the Kyuubi been giving you?" asked Kakashi. Even he knew that with Jinchuriki, a chakra cloak required a rather large amount of power. Well, he's been giving me as much as he can without damaging the seal, replied Naruto. He helped me out against Gaara and I was able to get the cloak to Two Tails. Kakashi looked at Naruto worried for the boy. Naruto, Two Tails is a rather large amount of power to use without having the Kyuubi influence you. If you continue giving in to him, he could break free and destroy Konoha, again. You see, the funny thing is that it's all a big misunderstanding, argued Naruto. Now Kakashi was becoming increasingly worried, but also a little curious. What are you talking about? Questioned Kakashi. Well, you see there was this guy that manipulated him into attacking the village. He honestly wanted nothing to do but mind his own business, but that guy came after him and forced him to attack the village almost 100 years ago. It was the same thing 12 years ago when he was forced to attack the village again. Because of that, he was sealed inside of me. He just wants to get free and mind his own business. Kakashi cut Naruto short. Naruto, that is most likely a ploy the Kyuubi came up with to trick you. You can't listen to him, he wants nothing more than to manipulate you, said Kakashi. He's not manipulating me. We came to an agreement and the two of us are working together, well at least the best we can with the seal as tight as it is, replied Naruto. And the seal is like that for a reason. Kakashi was cut off by Sasuke. Kakashi, I even think what Naruto was saying is true. Against Gaara, Naruto was in complete control, unlike Gaara, even when he wasn't fully transformed, explained Sasuke. Plus the Kyuubi apparently gave Naruto the power willingly to stop Orochimaru. Apparently he was trying to give me some sort of curse mark or something. We'll talk about that another day, Sasuke. Now Naruto, the Kyuubi is an evil demon and he's manipulating you to use more and more of his power so he can influence your actions more. I would like to believe that the Kyuubi is on our side, but you have no proof that it is. As such, I'm going to have to place a second seal on you to reinforce yours and block the Kyuubi from communicating with you, explained Kakashi, preparing the seals. At least he knew what had stopped Orochimaru from giving Sasuke the curse mark. He doesn't believe me, what do I do? Asked Naruto. Kit, make the hand seals you, Inu, Saru, Tora. Then put some chakra, about as much as you put into a normal summoning jutsu and say, contract summoning jutsu, that will summon the contract you and I agreed on, explained Kurama. Naruto did as he was instructed with Kakashi wondering what the boy was doing and on guard in case the fox had anything to do with this. Contract summoning jutsu, he shouted as a rather large scroll, about the size of the toad summoning scroll, appeared before them. Naruto, what's the meaning of this? Asked Kakashi. It's the contract that Kurama and I came up with, said Naruto. Kurama? Questioned Kakashi. The fox, his name is Kurama, said Naruto. Kakashi was now a little more confused, but proceeded to open the contract. He was surprised at the contents of the contract. Basically, it clearly stated what happened to the fox when he attacked the village and why he was sealed within Naruto and the former Jinchuriki. It also displayed the agreement between the two that Kurama would aid Naruto in exchange for his freedom when Naruto died. Furthermore, the fox would not have a hand in Naruto's death and would furthermore do his best to ensure that Naruto would die of old age. The contract was signed in blood by both Naruto and Kurama. However, the one thing that caught Kakashi's attention was the name of the one responsible for the attacks on the village, Madara Uchiha. Naruto, how is Madara Uchiha connected to all of this, particularly the Kyuubi attacks 12 years ago? He should have died over 50 years ago, asked Kakashi. Wait? Madara Uchiha? Asked Sasuke, stunned upon hearing the name. Kakashi briefly explained to Sasuke about Madara Uchiha, including his defection from the village after the Uchiha clan allied with the Senju clan to form Konoha. He then explained the fight between Madara and Harashima Senju where Madara used the Kyuubi in that fight. I don't really know, but Kurama said that he was being controlled by a Sharingan wielder and that the power of that person was the same as the man who fought with the first Hokage, explained Naruto. Neither of us know how to explain it. I mean, someone over 100 years old should be dead, but Kurama thinks that this man is alive. Alright, said Kakashi. I'll have to look into that matter. Perhaps Master Jiraiya knows more about it. But that still leaves your little agreement. Who is to say that the fox won't keep his end of the bargain? Even amongst demons, blood contracts are binding, said Jiraiya, appearing out of the corner. Master Jiraiya, how did you get in here? Kakashi questioned. I know how to get around a few privacy seals, explained Jiraiya. Pervy Sage, shouted Naruto as Kakashi's sweat dropped. Pervy Sage? So this is the person that trained Naruto? This is Jiraiya, one of the legendary Sannin, thought Sasuke. Sakura also realized who had walked in and had punched Naruto over the head for referring to one of the greatest ninja in the leaf as a pervert. Little did she know that Jiraiya was in fact a super pervert. Stop calling me that kid, shouted Jiraiya. Inside, the fox couldn't stop laughing. Anyways, I supervised Naruto before the exams. I checked and the seal is fully intact. He also seems to have rather good control over the Kyuubi's chakra when needed. Okay, but what is it about a blood contract with demons that is making you so sure? Questioned Kakashi. I'm no expert with demons, but I do know a lot about the seals used here. One thing is for certain though, if the Kyuubi doesn't keep his promise to Naruto and harms the village or anyone Naruto doesn't want hurt by him, the fox will die. It's one of the few ways a demon can truly die outside of being killed by another demon. Kakashi got it now. So is there anything to worry about? Regarding the fox? No. I think it is safe to say that Naruto will have controlled access to the fox's chakra. However, this does present other issues, explained Jiraiya. You mean, replied Kakashi. Yes, said Jiraiya. Huh? What are you two talking about? Said a confused Naruto. Naruto, there are people in this village who will try to take advantage of you if they knew you could use the power of the Kyuubi. That's why I told you to be careful in that letter, explained Jiraiya. They have their own selfish agenda and will manipulate you to their will. Naruto, does anyone else know you can access the Kyuubi's chakra? Asked Kakahi. Besides Haku, Sakura, and team over there, no, said Naruto. Dobe, replied Sasuke to Naruto's insult. Although, I suppose Gaara might know, seeing as he is a Jinchuriki as well, said Naruto. Kakashi and Jiraiya both understood that. Okay Naruto, just remember what we said about using the Kyuubi's chakra. Keep it to the absolute minimum as it will cause problems if certain people in the village know, said Kakashi. Alright, I guess that means I just need to learn some more cool jutsus like the Rasengan, said Naruto. Kakashi nearly face-planted upon hearing the word Rasengan come out of Naruto's mouth. Kakashi asked Naruto where he learned that from and Naruto pointed to Jiraiya. He then asked Naruto for a demonstration and Naruto did so, surprising Jiraiya that he had actually managed the jutsu in the 3-4 weeks' time. Ooh, speaking of which, Kakashi, can you teach me that Chidori? Now it was Sasuke's turn as the eyes nearly burst out of his head. Sorry Naruto, but I don't think you are the type of person to learn Chidori, said Kakashi, receiving a few complaints from Naruto. Jiraiya promised to explain later and Sasuke was relieved that Chidori was one technique Naruto would not be getting. Jiraiya informed Kakashi that the village council had been called and that they had to leave to meet up. Kakashi knew what was going on, although he didn't think they would convene this early. As such, Team 7 had the rest of the day off to do whatever they wanted. For Sasuke and Naruto, this meant training. Sakura and Haku were different. Kakashi and Jiraiya entered the council chamber. The entire council was there, Koharu and Hamaru, the Hokage's advisors, Hayashi Hyuga, Chusa Akamichi, Shikaka Nara, Inoichi Yamanaka, Shibi Aburame, Tsum Inazuka, Asuma Sarutobi, and Murakumo Karama, the clan heads, a few members of the civilian council, the feudal lord of the Land of Fire, and some old veteran called Danzo. They knew why they were there. The village needed the next Hokage and the council had been assembled to select the next Hokage. Danzo spoke first, pretty much restating what most people though, that the Godame Hokage was needed at this time. While Danzo secretly wanted to nominate himself as the candidate for Hokage, he knew that he had little support. It wasn't long before Jiraiya's name came up as a possible candidate and most of the council, especially the feudal lord, agreed with this decision. "I'm sorry, but I must decline. I'm simply not that type," said Jiraiya, shocking most of the people sitting in the room. A few members questioned his decision. "But Jiraiya, you are one of the legendary Sannin," stated Koharu. "With the trouble of Orochimaru, we need a strong leader, we need you. If you are not the correct person for the job, then who is?" "There is another person among the three Sannin," said Jiraiya. "That is Tsunade." This sent stirs around the council chambers. While she was qualified for the position, no one knew where she was or if she would come back to the village. Jiraiya even volunteered to go and look for her, stating that he would bring her back. "Jiraiya, if you are leaving to find her, then you will need to bring several ANBU with you on your search party," said Koharu. Jiraiya took this a different way than Koharu intended. "Don't worry, I'm not going to run away. That's a little excessive to have someone watch over me," said Jiraiya. "However, there is one person I would like to take along. I found an interesting new egg." For now, the council agreed with this. If Jiraiya was able to bring Tsunade back, then they accept her as the Hokage, if not then they would have to come up with someone else. Jiraiya went searching for his interesting egg, Naruto, and it wasn't long until he found the blonde exiting Ichiraku Ramen. However, Jiraiya noticed that he had a little stalker. A few meters behind Naruto, Hinata was ducking in and out into alleys and behind boxes, trash cans, and various objects as she followed her crush around, unbeknown to him. It was becoming obvious to Jiraiya that Naruto was completely oblivious to this girl. A closer inspection of her revealed her to be a Hyuga and the lack of a seal on her forehead indicated that she was from the main branch. This would make for an easier conversation as the one he now had to talk to was one of his former students. Jiraiya jumped down to meet with Naruto. "Gah! Pervy sage," shouted Naruto. "Don't call me that, you little brat," shouted Jiraiya, wringing the boy by his neck. "Anyways, I was wondering if you were up for a little trip." "Wait, trip?" said Naruto. "Why would I go? I need to convince Kakashi-sensei to teach me Chidori." "Well, we need to find this woman. Think of it as a mission. It's a special trip and we'll even stop by the red light district in Hima. Not to mention, I'll teach you more than Kakashi could ever teach you," explained Jiraiya, getting that perverted look on his face. "Woman? Red light district? He just wants to do that research thing, doesn't he?" said Naruto to the fox. "Humans," responded the fox, trying to go back to sleep. "And also, this woman is hot, she wants to meet you," said Jiraiya, patting Naruto on the back. "You're trying to fool me, pervy sage." "Whatever you say, I don't want to," shouted Naruto. "Ha! She knows a technique that is much better than Chidori," scoffed Jiraiya. "But you're not coming. I guess I could ask Sasuke." "All right. Let's go," shouted Naruto, getting that excited look on his face. "I'm going to my house to pack up my things, don't leave without me." Naruto took off quickly, leaving both Jiraiya and Hinata, who had hid in an alley and overheard the whole thing, in the dust. "Naruto is leaving on a trip," thought a depressed Hinata. "I wish I could go." Hinata began fantasizing herself on a trip, just her and Naruto for a few weeks. This caused her to turn red and nearly faint. Jiraiya caught the young Hyuga peeking out from the alley and just gave a slight smile. This was going to be an interesting trip. Outside the Hokage Tower, Kakashi was leaving from the council meeting. Suddenly he heard a familiar voice. "Kakashi, my eternal rival," said Guy, putting his arm around Kakashi and radiating his usual guyness. Zabuza had come at a bad time to find Kakashi. "We never tallied the count from our little contest. I had 52, what about you?" "Oh, well, looks like you win this one, Guy," Kakashi admitted. "I only had 47. He remembered that he had to take some time off to assign the mission to Naruto, Sakura, and Shikamaru. "Ha, Leaf Ninja, you're so soft," laughed Zabuza. 52 is all you had?" "I had 68. Kakashi was indifferent, but Guy got that spark in his eye that usually means people should start running. "Yes. A second eternal rival has shown himself to join me along the road of youthfulness," shouted Guy. Kakashi then went to Zabuza's side and spoke quietly. "If you want to leave the village, I won't stop you," he said. Zabuza was wondering what Kakashi was referring to. In his first couple months in the village, he already had the pleasure of being assigned to multiple assassination missions and even got a bloodbath killing sound ninja. He hated to admit it, but Konoha was pretty good for him. However, when Guy began shouting again, he quickly realized what Kakashi had said. "The next time we meet Zabuza, I will show you the full power of my youth. Now, I will go do 5,000 push-ups for losing to you," was all Zabuza could say. What the hell had he just gotten himself into? Kakashi just smiled and walked away. Kakashi found himself at the local tea house in the village. Inside, the two figures from earlier were also sitting at the table. "Oh, hey, you two guys look good together," Kakashi said, seeing Kurenai and Asuma walking towards him. "I doit. Anko asked me to pick her up some sweets," responded Kurenai. "Are you guys on a date? What about you? Did Anko ask you to pick up some sweets as well?" asked Asuma. "No, sometimes I stop by to pick up stuff, but I'm just meeting up with someone," said Kakashi. "I'm waiting for Sasuke." This caught the attention of the two cloaked figures in the shop. "Huh? Kakashi, it's rare for you to be here first, not to mention twice in one day," said Sasuke walking up to him. He caught a glance from one of the cloaked figures in the shop. Something about this person did not seem right. However, before Sasuke could get a second look, they were gone. Kurenai and Asuma also noticed this and disappeared as well. The two figures found themselves walking along a river in the village. "It's been a while, Asuma-san, Kurenai-san," said one of the figured removing his hat. He was facing the two jonin who didn't look happy that he was here. "You're originally from this village, why did you come back?" asked Asuman. "Itachi Uchiha." So you are already acquainted with Itachi?" "Then I should introduce myself," said the other cloaked figure. "Kisame Hashigake." "Now then, we have all been acquainted." Asuma grinned. "I guess we were meant to meet. Now I have the task of taking you on." "Itachi, your home village doesn't seem to like me very much," said Kisame. "I've heard of him, Kisame Hashigake. Originally of the Hidden Mist," explained Kurenai. "A daimyo killer accused of starting destructive actions against other clans. The Mist has been searching other clans to find this slippery shinobi. You people are S-rank criminals ranked in the bingo book," said Asuma. "You are pretty brave to come back to this village after that incident, Itachi." "Asuma, Kurenai, please do not interfere with my affairs, you will only get killed," said Itachi. "So how do you plan to back up those words?" "Either something is wrong with the way you think or you are just too full of yourself," said Asuma, pulling out his knives. At the same time, Kisame reached for his sword. "What is your purpose for being here?" Kisame slammed his sword into the ground in front of Asuma. Much to his surprise, they didn't flinch. "Kisame, just do what I say and don't let them get back to the village," said Itachi. "But don't do too much, your work can be quite excessive." Kisame charged at Kurenai, chopping down with his swords. However, Asuma stepped in front, blocking the blow with his knives. Kurenai flipped through a few signs and began to disappear in a vapor. At that time, the bandages on Kisame's sword began to unfurl, revealing a scaly-looking sword. Kisame pulled back and the scales dug into Asuma's shoulder, leaving him with a minor wound. "My sword, Samehade, is now off to slice you into bits," Kisame said as he made another slash at Asuma, further increasing the wound on his shoulder. Itachi and Kisame were wrapped up as Kurenai's genjutsu finally came into effect. They were pinned against a tree as Kurenai drove a dagger towards Itachi. She quickly found out that she was the one bound to the tree. Itachi had reversed the genjutsu on her. "This is the genjutsu counter?" she thought. "Genjutsu of this level has no effect on me," said Itachi as he drove a knife into her, dispelling the genjutsu. She wasn't physically wounded because Itachi attacked her in a genjutsu, but she was stunned long enough for Itachi to kick her into the river, distracting Asuma. "As expected, Kurenai, this is it for you." Kisame and Asuma clashed. Kisame thought that he was just out of the reach of Asuma's knives, but he soon found out that he had been cut on the face. Looking at Asuma, he could see the knives glowing with a chakra blade coming out of them. "Suetun, water shark jutsu," called out Kisame as he launched a large jet of water at Asuma, shaped like a shark. It collided with a jutsu that was the same as he had cast. "The jutsu is the same as mine." "Oh, it's just you," Asuma said as Kakashi stepped between him and Kisame. At the same time, a shadow clone stopped Itachi from harming Kurenai. "You just got here, huh?" "No, I got here just a little bit ago," said Kakashi. Kisame sent another blast of water toward Kakashi and Asuma, only for his jutsu to be countered with the same jutsu. "Kakashi Hatake," said Itachi, turning to the real Kakashi. Kakashi looked at Itachi. He was facing someone with the true Sharingan. This was going to be a difficult fight. "Now it's time to dance," said Kisame. "I have a reason to show off my jutsu." With the exception of Itachi, this one has the Sharingan as well. He is well known as Copy Ninja Kakashi. "The two people in the shop back there, I didn't think it would be Itachi Uchiha and Kisame Hashigake," said Kakashi. Well, you know my name," said Kisame. "I'm honored. However, you are asking for death. Anything to say before we fight?" "Move, Kisame," Itachi called out. He was a little shocked at first, but Kisame jumped to Itachi's side. Just as Kakashi's clone was about to take out Itachi, Itachi turned into a flock of crows, revealing himself to be a clone as well. Kakashi's clone was quickly dispatched by Kisame when he landed. "Remember why we are here," said Itachi, appearing at his partner's side. "Well, why don't you mind telling us why you are here?" asked Kakashi. "We've come looking for something," said Itachi. Itachi threw a few shuriken at Kakashi. If it hadn't been for Kakashi's Sharingan, the subtle movements of Itachi's attack would have gone unnoticed and Kakashi would have most likely died. "Suetun, water release barrier," Kakashi shouted, blocking Itachi's shuriken. At the same time, water drills rose up out of the water and clashed with the barrier. Thankfully, Kakashi was alright, until Itachi stabbed him in the back with a kunai. Kakashi turned into water, revealing himself to be a water clone. "Nice one," Kakashi thought. "Kurenai. Huh. This Itachi is just a copy." "Kurenai, get down," shouted Kakashi, leaping out of the water in front of her and tackling her as Itachi's clone exploded. Kakashi and Kurenai were uninjured, but Kakashi was breathing heavy as water rained down on them. Asuma quickly ran to their side. "Keep your guard up." This man became leader of the ANBU at age 13, warned Kakashi. "Is that all he has?" asked Asuma. "No, that is not his full power yet," replied Kakashi. "You are not related to the Uchiha clan." "We are true masters of the Sharingan," claimed Itachi. "Still, your body is suitable for that eye, but it does not contain any of our blood. Itachi had his eyes closed. He slowly began to open them. I will show you the true power of the Sharingan masters. It couldn't be, shouted Kakashi. Both of you, close your eyes now. Kurenai and Asuma did so, noticing the panic in Kakashi's voice. Kakashi also closed his normal eye, leaving his Sharingan locked on Itachi. Listen both of you, under no circumstance shall you open your eyes. If you look into his eyes, it's all over. Just listen to what I tell you. Only a person with another Sharingan could probably fight this fight. That is true, only another master of the Sharingan could challenge me. Some resistance could be made to this Mangekyo Sharingan, said Itachi. However, this Sharingan has a special Ijutsu. My illusion jutsu Tsukiyomi cannot be beaten. Only a Sharingan user with the same blood as me can defeat me. Sasuke, exclaimed Kakashi, realizing what Itachi was hinting at. Itachi's Sharingan began to transform into a three-point shuriken as he activated the next level of his Sharingan. Suddenly, Kakashi felt the world around him grow dark. Kakashi found himself in a dark world. Wondering where he was, he soon found himself chained to a post with his arms spread out. Standing in front of him was Itachi, who quickly multiplied to become about 24 Itachis. Kakashi then felt a blade be jabbed into his gut. This is the world of Tsukuyomi. All of space, all of time, everything matter, everything is under my control, explained Itachi as he continued to stab Kakashi. For the next 72 hours, you will be stabbed by these katanas. For what felt like several hours, Kakashi was repeatedly stabbed by Itachi. I must say, I am impressed that you managed to hold out this long. Only 71 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds to go, said Itachi. It had only been the equivalent of 1 second and already Kakashi felt like he was ready to collapse into unconsciousness. Suddenly, Kakashi dropped to the ground, sweating and out of breath. He felt like part of his soul had just been broken and that he was almost on the verge of dying. Kakashi. What happened? Asked Kurenai. It seemed like weeks in there, yet it was only seconds here, Kakashi thought, still struggling to stay somewhat upright even though he was on his knees in mental pain. Why didn't he just kill me? Heh, that jutsu causes a breakdown in spirit. It's surprising he's still alive, said Kisame. However Itachi, you should be careful about using that, as it causes you harm as well. You're looking for Sasuke? Kakashi barely managed to get out. No, replied Itachi. The Yondaime Hokage's legacy. The Yondaime's legacy? What do you want with him? Said a heavy-breathed Kakashi. Both Kurenai and Asuma had a feeling what Itachi was referring to. Naruto. Flashback. It's been a while, said Kakashi to Jiraiya. First time you've come home in how many years? Kakashi, said Jiraiya. I am going to be keeping Naruto in custody. It was the role of the third generation to watch over him. It was a good decision by the Sandaime to have you watch over him. I guess someone is trying to get you involved as well. What is it you want to tell me? Asked Kakashi, who was leaning against a railing next to Jiraiya. I have been watching Orochimaru's movements since he left the village. That person will return to the village someday, explained Jiraiya. Since it's already clear, that's the beginning of something. At first, it was just about Orochimaru. What about him? Kakashi continued to ask. That guy joined a certain organization, said Jiraiya. Kakashi was now trying to get the details on that particular organization out of Jiraiya. Although I don't know the full details, from what I know, it's called Akatsuki. It's a small organization composed of 9 shinobi. So far, there has been little movement. Most of those people are listed as S-rank criminals in the bingo book. And Itachi is also with them. They are up to something. Recently, Orochimaru defected from the organization. The members move in teams of 2 at all times, assembling jutsus and whatnot along the way. And they are after the Kyubi? Are you sure of it? Asked Kakashi. It's very likely, stated Jiraiya. After all, it's one of the tailed beast. It's some of the strongest chakra out there. Kakashi, this is Naruto's fate, to live always watching over his back. I will take Naruto and begin to train him. I want you to look after Sasuke. After all, Itachi is in that organization. End flashback. Your target is, the Kyubi, isn't it? Asked Kakashi. Both Kurenai and Asuma were shocked by this revelation. You have begun to move, you don't think we know? The name of your organization is Akatsuki, isn't it? Kisame, take out Kakashi, said a calm Itachi. It is time for these people to disappear. Kisame charged forward. Konoha Senpu, called out Guy as he landed a strong kick to Kisame's side, sending him back to Itachi. Who the hell is this? Asked Kisame. The Leaf's prideful green beast, Guy proclaimed. Might Guy. What the, better yet, why don't I just mistake you for an exotic animal, said Kisame, still recovering from Guy's kick. As Guy arrived, Kakashi finally toppled over in pain. His mind had enough torment and needed to rest to try and recover, if possible. Guy. Don't look into Itachi's eyes, warned Asuma. That's what happened to Kakashi. I already know about that. The way of fighting with Kakashi was done through the Sharingan, explained Guy. I already know how to fight him. Both of you, open your eyes. It's alright as long as you don't look into his eye. Using the reflection is the only way that you are recognized and dealt with. The way you talk about it, so that's how it's done, realized Kurenai. That's pretty smart, admitted Asuma. But there is only one person who can do that, you. There is a method to it, but, we don't have time, said Guy. Get used to it now. Kurenai, take Kakashi to the medical center. Asuma and I will handle these two. I've already arranged for reinforcements, they will be here shortly. Heh, aren't you brave, taunted Kisame. Kisame, stop, ordered Itachi. We did not come here to start a war, regrettably, let's leave. Kisame was slightly hesitant at first, but the two of them left, leaving the four-leaf Jonin without their opponents. Oh, sensei, said Hayashi as Jiraiya entered the Hyuga compound. A few other Hyugas bowed to the well-respected Master Jiraiya. What brings you here? I thought you were leaving on a trip with Naruto. I was, but something else caught my attention. I'm still on my way out, but I want to make a slight change to who I'm taking with me, explained Jiraiya. I'm looking for a young Hyuga girl, main branch, midnight blue hair, you know her? Oh, you must be talking about my daughter, Hinata, replied Hayashi. This was getting even more interesting. He had met Hinata once when she was a baby, but didn't recognize her after all these years. Well, I'm thinking of also bringing her along. I planned on training Naruto while looking for Tsunade and I suppose I could offer her some training, explained Jiraiya. I suppose this means you are going to teach them chakra elemental manipulation, asked Hayashi. Jiraiya nodded. While the Hyuga clan primarily focused on taijutsu, their members were also trained to a certain extent in ninjutsu, to help offset the disadvantage that range presented to them with the gentle fist. Every member in the clan had earth chakra, which complemented the gentle fist. Like the earth, the gentle fist was powerful, firm, and unyielding. The gentle fist blocked the chakra flow of the body just like the earth did to the flow of water in rivers and streams. Hayashi figured that it was about time Hinata began to learn the earth element to help her progress in the art of the gentle fist, and Jiraiya had been a good teacher for him in the past, despite some of his shortcomings. Alright. Just let me go get some of the family scrolls that I believe will help her, explained Hayashi. It was at that time that Hinata walked into the compound. Oh Hinata, good you're home. Father, what is Master Jiraiya doing here? Asked the young Hyuga. Jiraiya-sensei stopped by to discuss a training opportunity with you, explained Hayashi. Hinata was hoping that this was going where she thought it was. Now, Jiraiya was the one who taught me, and I felt that he did a very good job teaching me about the earth element that is common in all Hyuga. He's leaving on a journey for a few weeks and he has decided to bring you along and begin your training in elemental chakra. Hinata-sama, this is a good opportunity for you, I suggest you take it, encouraged Niji, who had joined the conversation for a few brief moments before leaving. Apparently, the elders of the clan wanted to speak to him about something. But why are you asking me? I thought you were taking Naruto, asked Hinata. I'll be taking both of you with me. Is there a problem? Said Jiraiya. I'm going on a trip with Naruto, thought Hinata, going all red. Eep was all she could let out as she fainted to the ground at the very thought of being with Naruto for the next few weeks. I'll go prepare a few scrolls for you to take for Hinata's benefit, Jiraiya-sensei, said Hayashi. A rather cold and ominous look appeared in his eyes and his Byakugan activated. I'm warning you though, do anything dishonorable with my daughter around, and let's just say you won't have chakra flowing to a certain part of your body. Jiraiya gulped at his student's threat. Ah! A scream was heard from the nearby building that Niji had entered a few minutes ago. Jiraiya and Hayashi rushed over to see what the source of the scream was. Niji found himself on the ground clutching his head and crying out in pain. You have dishonored the clan by losing to that thing, one of the elders said, activating the seal on Niji's head. What the hell are you doing? Shouted Hayashi, bursting into the room. Let my nephew go immediately. No. You failed to punish him for losing and dishonoring the clan, so now it is up to us to punish him, said one of the other elders. Suddenly, the elders found themselves wrapped up by a tongue and thrown against the wall as the pain left Niji. Hayashi looked back to see that Jiraiya had summoned one of his toads to deal with the elders. Hayashi went to pick up Niji, who had fallen unconscious from the whole ordeal. He had finally let go of his grudge against the main house, and this is what he had gotten. Both Hayashi and Jiraiya were disgusted. If I may ask, why did you intervene, sensei? Hayashi asked. He was grateful for Jiraiya's assistance, but curious as well. As a seal master, it sickens me to see seals used in that matter, said Jiraiya. The two proceeded over to Hayashi's house as the elders did their best to try and recover from being slammed into the wall. However, the force with which they had been thrown was rather large and they soon lost consciousness. A few moments later, Hayashi came out with a handful of scrolls for Hinata's purpose, and one Jiraiya had never thought he would see. It was the scroll for the caged bird seal. Does this mean you want me to? Asked Jiraiya. Yes, if you could. You are the only one with the knowledge capable of removing the seal, explained Hayashi. The elders have been growing out of control lately. Niji is not the first they have used the seal on unjustly, nor will he be the last if it cannot be removed. I beg you to find a way to remove it. The other side to Hayashi's request was that he was now looking at every possible means available to prevent him from having to seal one of his daughters within the next few years. If this meant finding a way to remove the seal, then he would do it. Also, he had made a silent promise to his brother's grave a few days ago to find a way to free Niji from that fate. About an hour later, Jiraiya was at the gate with Naruto and Hinata, who still couldn't believe her luck. She would be spending a few weeks with Naruto. While Naruto still wasn't sure why Hinata was coming along, he was not denying that it would be nice to have someone who's not perverted coming along. Jiraiya was thinking of what was to come. He wasn't the author of the #1 best-selling adult novels for nothing. It was obvious to him that Hinata had feelings for Naruto, and it was even more obvious that Naruto didn't recognize those feelings, something that he would have to fix. It was time to play a little matchmaker. See you in the next video.